We are at M1 in Michigan, and we have a special treat for you today. We're with Tom Norman. He is the consummate professional and curator of some gorgeous spark plug, what do you call them, maintenance machines?
Cleaners and testers.
Cleaners and testers. So these are a couple, and we're just going to run through what they are. And if you're ever looking for something like this, Tom is the person. He is the consummate professional. So Tom, take us through a little bit. See, we have two different models here.
This white item on the left is from the 1940 and 41 period. It's got all the adapters. Here's one to adapt for a 10 millimeter spark plug. These are for 18 millimeter spark plugs. And the ones in here right now are for 14 millimeter plugs. And without using any reducing adapters at all, you can actually test the old 7/8 14 thread, which looks like this on some plugs, directly into the machine. So it'll test 4 different styles of threaded spark plugs.
So when you say test, so what would we be doing?
Well, you can screw in the spark plug, hook up the electrical connection to it, and by pressing this button here, if you look in the mirror, you're able to look at the quality of the spark at the end of the spark plug. Now what I'll do is add a little bit of air pressure to it. That might help.
Yeah, I can see
Help the quality of the spark. And so if you're cleaning and checking out plugs, you can test the quality of the spark, to see if it's worthy to put in your engine. Now these are adapter pucks for cleaning spark plugs. There's one for the 7/8 size thread. There's one for the 18 millimeter. Here's one for the 10 millimeter. And then the one in the machine right here is for a 14 millimeter. And so you put a spark plug down through that hole, and then by pushing air, you can feel a little bit of air coming up there, it siphons up grit to clean the end of the spark plug. And when you're done cleaning it, then if you hold the spark plug over this little nipple, you can get some air coming out of that to blow the dust off the bottom of the plug. So this is what service stations would have used back in the day to service people's spark plugs.
So this is a Series 300?
Yes.
And what's the different models? I mean, I'm sure this is one model, there's other 300, 400, 200. Are they larger or smaller or more adaptable?
Well, I think this one might have been called the 200 series. This is the 300, and this was just before World War II. And at the end of World War II, Champion got away from this floor-mounted machine like this and went to a bench-top machine that could clean and test. And those were Series 500, and then they went to 600, 700, and 800 in later years. But I like these because they've got the old-style gauge and that crescent tail on the gauge needle. And this one's fully functional. It tests and cleans plugs just like they would have originally.
Oh, that's neat. I know we're set up in at the M1 in his man cave. It's just a spectacular facility, so we won't bore you with those details. But so tell us a little bit about this one. I know we're running a small compressor because it's in your man cave and we're just demonstrating, but so this is a later model, 1930.
This is actually earlier. This is from the 30s. And this will clean and test plugs. This upper unit is just the tester. The test button's on the side. Oh, I got to plug that in.
Yeah, these are magnificent machines, and like I say, Tom is your man. If you're looking to restore one or buy one, Tom is the guy that you need to get in touch with.
Down, I gotta let the compressor build a little bit. You can see a good view of the spark testing on that one.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And then for cleaning plugs, that's done down below here. This is actually kind of set up where with this needle pointed to 10 and 14 and 18, you can put any one of these different rubber adapters in there
And that is the 10 millimeter, 14 millimeter, and
That's right.
that's 7/8.
And then if you wanted the 7/8, you take this off, rotate it, and then have that point at the 7/8, because if this offsets the little blast nozzle, you redirect it right at the very end of the spark plug.
So this is basically the same operating principle as this, just
It does the same thing, yeah. It both cleans them, and then when you're done cleaning them, you go up here and test them, you know, by hooking up the spark plug. Now what's cool about this one, since it's an earlier one, the center port is a 1/2 inch pipe thread, which allows you to test the Model T spark plug. And then with all the adapters, you can test the other 4 sizes on these other outer ports.
interesting. Do you have any idea what these back in the day in the 1938 would have, how much they were sold for the service stations? You ever researched that?
They weren't that much at the time. I mean, for $40 or $50, a mechanic could have probably purchased either one of these, which was still big money back then. But quite a few of them have been destroyed over the years through neglect and disuse, and so it's kind of hard to find them. I make it a point to recreate all of the graphics in the front, paint everything up to be the correct color scheme.
Yeah, and if you know Tom, Tom's an absolute professional engineer. This is extremely well done. This is just amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you're ever looking for a machine, Tom Norman is your man. He's the spark plug man. Well, thanks, Tom, for sharing that with us.
Okay, Dave, thank you.